Toyota's a car company famous for making some of the most reliable cars in the world that also hold their value well. So, I was thinking, for such a well-known brand, what are the most iconic and famous Toyotas in the world? If you're a car enthusiast, I'm sure you heard of the Toyota Hilux on Top Gear, or the Toyota Supra from Fast and Furious. But there are a lot more Toyotas that are iconic. But let's start with something that everyone knows. The Toyota Hilux. A truck that a lot of people know, not only for being super desirable. I mean, Marty McFly wanted one.
Check out that 4x4. That is hot.
He even changed the past and made his dad rich and successful so he could get one. Well, it wasn't his intent, but he accidentally did it and got the Hilux. And it's not super iconic if it's not in the movie. Oh, and let's not forget about the Toyota Pizza Delivery Hilux in Toy Story. But the Toyota Hilux, to a lot of other people, it first came to their attention when they saw the test that Top Gear performed on the 1980s 4x4 diesel Hilux by crashing it, setting it on fire, dumping it into the ocean, hitting it with a wrecking ball and placing it on top of a building that was going to be demolished, and dropping it with the building. And at the end, even though it was bent in half, it still ran. And that was not Top Gear trying to fool anybody. A lot of people already knew before that how good the Hilux was. In a lot of countries around the world, especially a lot of places with harsh environments, where having a car that won't fail you means life or death, the Hilux is a choice. Like in Africa, it is used in some areas to bring medical services to unreachable rural areas. These trucks are tough. They can go through rivers without a problem. And there are a lot of videos of mechanics doing Toyota engine rebuilds in the middle of dirt roads. Those are some great mechanics and some great engines. Unfortunately though, the world isn't a peaceful place. The Hilux is also associated with gunmen in foreign countries. We've all seen the videos. So yeah, they're tough. Now on this side of the pond, the Toyota Hilux in North America first arrived in 1968 as a compact rear-wheel drive pickup truck with an 85 horsepower 1.9 liter engine. And it wasn't called a Hilux, it was just called the Toyota pickup, and people fell in love with them. Even though Americans love their big trucks, the Hilux had something special: reliability. Especially the R22 engine that became legendary not for its power but its reliability and longevity. I mean, who doesn't like a truck that doesn't fail you? That until 1995, when the Toyota pickup, aka Hilux, was replaced with its bigger cousin, the Toyota Tacoma. Why was it replaced? Well, according to Google, the Tacoma was designed to be more comfortable and better suited for the US market. And its production in North America also allowed Toyota to avoid the chicken tax on imported trucks. So yeah, the Toyota Tacoma was a more luxurious, bigger, powerful version of the Hilux and was made in the US because of the chicken tax. But a lot of Americans still want a more basic truck like the Hilux. The Tacoma is a bit more pricey. You get more, but it costs more. The original smaller Hilux isn't sold in the US, but it's still sold in the rest of the world and still moving strong. The Hilux is iconic not only because it took on everything Top Gear threw at it, but because it took on everything the entire world threw at it, and it came out strong. It's the example that people just want something simple that works and is easy to fix, and it's totally achievable. The Hilux is the example, and that makes it iconic. Now we've talked about the Hilux and the Tacoma. Let's move on to something even bigger, the Toyota Tundra. The Toyota Tundra was introduced in the North American market to compete with a super popular full-size truck, the Ford F-150. Toyota first tried with the Toyota T100, but wasn't big enough. And just like the Hilux and the Tacoma, they were all over-engineered. How did it become an icon? Well, in 2012, a stock Toyota Tundra Crewmax 4x4 with a 5.7 liter I-Force V8 engine towed a 307,000 pound or 153.5 ton space shuttle to the California Science Center. But that's not all. In 2016, a 2007 Toyota Tundra owned by Victor Shepard, reached 1,000,000 miles with its original engine and transmission, a feat Toyota celebrated by giving him a new truck. Shepard has since driven a second Toyota Tundra, a 2014 model, to over 1,000,000 miles as well. The original truck was studied by Toyota engineers to understand how its durability held up under real-world driving conditions. Even Toyota doesn't know how they made a 1,000,000-mile truck, and they have to take it apart to understand it. So yeah, the Tundra is an icon. But has it been in the movie? The Tundra was featured in the movie Terminator 3: Rise of the Machines, where it was used in a major chase scene and was the vehicle Arnold Schwarzenegger drove. Toyota even released a special T3 edition Tundra with unique styling. I think the Tundra is an appropriate car for the Terminator movies. Now let's move into something more sporty. I know everyone knows this one. The Toyota Supra. The first time I learned about it was in Fast and Furious. You know when Brian brings in this beat up car in the tow truck? And everyone was like, wow, at this destroyed car. And I was like, why? Then I saw why. Toyota Supra, say no more. But why else is the Supra an icon, other than being the hero car in Fast and Furious? Well, in real life, the Toyota Supra is a monster, in a good way. Toyota made the 2JZ engine for power. Well, originally the engine only had 276 horsepower, stock horsepower, but with upgrading the internals and fuel system and a bigger turbo and a few other modifications, this beast can achieve more than 1,000 horsepower. And those are some healthy horsepower. And it sounds like this. And best of all, it's reliable. This beast initially became an icon in the car enthusiast community. Plus, that was the car Paul Walker was remembered in at the end of Fast and Furious 7, a white Toyota Supra. The Supra has a lot of history in the car enthusiast community, and forever will be an icon. This sound can never be forgotten. Now let's head to Japan for our next iconic Toyota. Some Toyotas never left Japan, and well, it's a shame because this next Toyota is the pinnacle of Toyota's luxury. Made to compete with Rolls-Royce, Maybachs, and all top-of-the-line luxury cars. I am talking about the Toyota Century. The Toyota Century is a line of full-size luxury cars produced mainly for the Japanese market, serving as Toyota's flagship within Japan. Globally, the unrelated Lexus brand housed Toyota's flagship luxury models. Production of the Century began in 1967, which featured the 2.6 V8 Toyota engine. The engine wasn't made for power, it was made for torque, to smoothly move you along. The base model was redesigned in 1997 and 2018 again. Received only minor changes and a massive V12 5.0 engine, making 276 horsepower and 340 foot-pounds of torque at 400 RPM. Again, this engine's for torque, not power. Recently, they reverted back to a V8 5.0 hybrid for efficiency, I'm guessing, producing a healthy 425 horsepower. The Century is iconic for its elegance and scarcity. It's like a unicorn. You are told it exists, but you have never seen one in real life. It's elegant in a 60s mafia kind of way. It's easier to spot a Ferrari or a Lamborghini than one of these. So, is it in any movie? While the Toyota Century is not a mainstream movie car, like the Supra, it's a prominent fixture in Japanese film, often appearing in movies involving the Yakuza, the Japanese imperial family, or powerful businessmen. It's associated with high society and organized crime, making it a natural character in certain types of films. So it's a baddie's car, and it's an icon for being a baddie's car and a unicorn. Now let's move out of the bright cities of Japan and into the twisty roads of the mountains, where our next car became an icon, and also an anime. I am of course talking about the 1980s Toyota Corolla AE86, a simple, affordable 4-cylinder 128-130 horsepower rear-wheel drive Corolla. But somebody saw its potential. Keiichi Tsuchiya, the Drift King. He used the AE86 in the mid-80s on Japanese mountain passes, demonstrating its drift potential and making it the car of choice for street racing. If you don't know who Keiichi is, well, let me just say he is the Drift King, the person that made drifting sport popular, and a living legend in the drift community. He was a guest in Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift. He also helped coordinate the drift scenes in the movie. The Toyota AE86 became popular due to its nimble, lightweight chassis with a near 50-50 weight distribution, rear-wheel drive, a rev-happy twin-cam 130 horsepower engine, and affordable price. Well, at least back in the 80s, it was affordable, making it perfect for street racing and drifting in Japan's mountain passes. Its legendary status was cemented by Drift King Keiichi Tsuchiya's endorsement and its starting role in the Initial D manga anime series as a hero's tofu delivery car, turning it into a global JDM icon. If you don't watch anime and don't know what Initial D is, well, let me tell you. Initial D follows Takumi Fujiwara, a quiet high schooler who secretly becomes a legendary downhill street racer on Japan's mountain Akina, using his father's old Toyota AE86 tofu delivery car, as he's drawn into the underground racing scene and battles increasingly skilled drivers. So yeah, highly recommended if you like street racing and drifting. But if you are a car enthusiast, I'm sure you already saw it. So yeah, that is the Toyota AE86. Now let's talk about Toyota's iconic low-volume sports cars. I am talking about the beautifully designed 1967 Toyota 2000 GT with a capable 2.0-liter inline 6-cylinder double overhead camshaft with 148 horsepower engine. Not a super powerhouse by today's standards, but back then most common cars had about 50 horsepower, so pretty good for a 4-cylinder. But what it lacked in horsepower, it made up in Toyota's best traits: longevity and breathtaking exhaust notes. This car was designed in collaboration with Yamaha, a motorcycle and piano manufacturer at the time, and there were only 351 2000 GTs made, 2 of them convertible, and this car put Toyota on the world map as a capable car manufacturer, setting 13 FIA world records for speed and endurance, giving Porsche a run for their money. They were the record holders before that, and they even specially built and prepared a 911R to reclaim the records Toyota had just broken. And at the time, Porsche was in the game for a long time, at least worldwide. Toyota was a new guy, just about 8 years selling worldwide. Before that, Toyota was only sold domestically. They started in 1958 with a car called Toyopet Crown, a super popular car in Japan, but in the US, it was a terrible and unreliable car. That according to the people buying the car at the time. We have to remember that this was after the war, so yeah. But Toyota listened to its customers and fixed the problem. And in 1967, Toyota was competing with Porsches. That is impressive for a fairly new car company at the time in the worldwide spectrum at least. The Toyota 2000 GT wasn't only a record breaker, it was also a movie car. In 1967, it was featured in the James Bond movie, You Only Live Twice. Not only that, but a custom-built, rare convertible 2000 GT was made to fit tall actor Sean Connery. In the movie, Japanese agent Aki drives a white Toyota 2000 GT, using the sports car to take Bond to a meeting with Daiko Henderson. She then uses the car to twice rescue Bond outside of Osaka Industry headquarters, to lead Spectre agents on a chase out of Tokyo, and to travel to Kobe to investigate the Ningpo container ships. A lot of people became a fan of the car after watching the movie. Sadly, there are only 351 2000 GTs and 2 convertibles that are astronomically expensive. The convertibles were never sold to the public. One of the convertibles isn't known where it is, and the other one is now housed at Toyota's Automobile Museum, which is this one. But Toyota wasn't done with the 2000 GT. Toyota asked legendary Carroll Shelby to also collab on the 2000 GT, so they could enter it at the 1968 SCCA production car races. And this car became even more iconic and legendary. 3 big names collaborated: Toyota, Yamaha, and Carroll Shelby. Carroll Shelby improved the car by fitting custom-made magnesium alloy wheels and squeezing 50 more horsepower out of the Toyota Yamaha engine. Over the entire season, the 2000 GTs usually had the better of the TR 250s. When the dust settled at the end of 1968, Porsche occupied first and second place in the standings, with Toyota in third and fourth. Still, this was a respectable showing for the 2000 GT's competition debut in the US, and Shelby already had some ideas on how to improve the car for the next racing season. Driver Dave Jordan had enjoyed piloting the 2000 GT. The handling was phenomenal, he said. Great brakes, very stiff. The only thing was the lack of horsepower to match the Porsches. To his great disappointment, however, Toyota of America informed Shelby that they will not continue to compete in the SCCA or any other racing series with the 2000 GTs. The reason was simple: economic. The 3 2000 GTs were retired. One car returned home to Toyota, but the other 2 remained in the US. The car with chassis number 10001 was used as a daily driver for years, and discovered in a deplorable state in the late 70s. The car went into a 15-year-long restoration that returned the Shelby Toyota 2000 GT to its former glory. And in early 2002, chassis 10001 sold at auction for $2.5 million, making it the most expensive Japanese car at auction. But then again, this car is a legend and an icon for more than one reason. So that is the 2000 GT. Now let's move into the evolution of the 2000 GT. That's right, the creation when Toyota and Yamaha collaborated again. The Lexus LFA. The Lexus LFA is a legendary limited production Japanese supercar, 2010 to 2012. Renowned for its high-revving Yamaha-tuned 4.8 V10 engine with an unforgettable sound, producing around 560 horsepower. It's got a carbon fiber monocoque chassis and a digital tachometer that couldn't keep up with its rapid revs. There were only 500 units produced of this car. It was a decades-old project to showcase Toyota's engineers' skills, and oh my god did it deliver, becoming a sought-after collector's item for its unique driving experience and emotional appeal. This car, the more it ages, the more iconic it becomes. It is iconic just because it exists. That is how good the engineering is. Plus, this car was featured in Fast 5 as Han's car, and also on Top Gear. The only downside is that it is a super expensive car, and there are only 500 units in the whole world, so that adds to how expensive they are. But I guess that is part of being an icon. Now, some honorable mentions. The Toyota Land Cruiser series. In 1950, the Korean War created demand for military lightweight utility vehicles. The United States government ordered 100 vehicles with the then new Willys specifications and asked Toyota to manufacture them. The Toyota Jeep prototype was developed in 1951. This came from the demand for military-type utility vehicles, and that's where the legendary Toyota Land Cruiser was born. Just like the Hilux and the Land Cruiser, it's unstoppable. Now, the Toyota Celica, a cool little hatchback with some of them having turbos and four-wheel drive, and also a rally monster. The Toyota Corolla, for being the best-selling car of all time, having sold 50 million units globally since 1966 when it was launched. The Toyota Camry, not only for being a super reliable car, but a prominent car in NASCAR, serving as Toyota's sole model in the Cup Series since 2007, powered by a 358 cubic inch V8 engine aiming to compete with Chevrolet Camaro and the Ford Mustangs. The Toyota MR2, a mid-engine little unicorn. They're becoming harder and harder to find in the wild. Kinda rare to find them. The 1965 Toyota Corolla. Toyota was a marginal player in the American market until Corolla arrived and established it as a marker of rugged and reliable family transportation. With its distinctive wedge nose and bold upright greenhouse, the T40 and the T50 series Corollas became the first cars Americans could identify as Toyotas. Toyota survived long enough to thrive in America, and it was all due to this car. And of course, we can't forget about the 4Runners and the FJ Cruisers. They are the king of off-road and comfort for Toyota, at least in America. Most of Toyota's cars are iconic for their reliability. Toyota is a car company that understands that making a product isn't just to sell something and make a profit, and 5 years later, have that same product deteriorate and become useless. They made cars that parents can pass down to their kids and be confident that it will get the job done. And just because of that, it's iconic. Thanks for watching, like and subscribe, and I will see you later.